Hello everybody and welcome to Decoding the WSL, the podcast dedicated to the stats and facts in the WSL. We're having a look back at the weekend's games, game week 7, and I'm going through my team of the week. It's already up on social media, go and find it. I'm going to be going through each player one by one and explaining why they're in the team of the week, and I'm your host, Sam Biccarino. Yes, hello listener, and welcome back to another episode of Decoding the WSL. As I mentioned, we're going through my team of the week from game week 7. Thank you for joining me. It is currently, Monday the 11th of November, although it may probably be Tuesday by the time you're listening to this. As I mentioned, I'm going to go through one by one, as I normally do, through the players, the 11 in the team, going through and seeing why I picked each player, just to give you a bit of reasoning behind what I've done. So we're going to start off with the goalkeeper, as is the sensible thing to do. Fallon Tullis-Joyce is the player that I've gone for. It was a close run thing between her and Courtney Brosnan. I thought, obviously both keepers were in a draw this weekend, and I thought Courtney Brosnan did really well. She faced a lot of high quality chances from Crystal Palace. Palace's XG was 1.8. I think their post-show XG was 1.7. So, it wouldn't have been out of the realms possibility for, an average keeper to concede 2 goals and then Everton lose the game. They're bottom of the table by a point. But Courtney Brosnan really kept them in the game. But as I mentioned, Fallon Tullis-Joyce is the player that I've gone for. She did create a bit of the XG herself that Villa ended up accumulating because she obviously had that dribble across her own goal mouth, which Núñez technically had a shot, which was about 0.7 XG, although Tullis-Joyce did save it. So a little bit of saving grace there, but for the rest of the game, generally, I thought she had a really good game. She made a lot of good quality saves. Villa had quite a lot of chances. I think if you come away as a Villa fan, you'll probably be a bit disappointed to have not won that. I know Robert DePaul definitely was. So she was a bit of a centre of attention for Man United. She was one of 2, I think, shining lights for Man United in a pretty poor performance generally. So she is my goalkeeper in my team of the week. Now, let's go through the back 4. I'm actually going to start at right back, so I've gone for Gabby George. Now, I know she didn't play right back, but we've got another player in at left back, so she had to move around. I've put her in the team because she had some decent stats throughout the game. She didn't necessarily stand out when you look at the numbers, but she was alright. She did pretty well. But there were 2 really big moments that sort of cemented her place in the team of the week. There were 2 blocks, one in the first half, one in the second half, that I think could have been potentially goal-saving blocks. Definitely would have been shots on target. First from Chastity Grant in the first half, and then Katie Robinson in the second half. I thought she, like I said, had a really good, solid game generally. When Villa are the team that definitely were on top, they had about 60% possession in this game. They had a lot more shots, and she was getting the blocks in, I think was really good. And I just thought she deserved a place in the team, even if it had to be slightly out of position at right back instead of left back. On to the centre-backs, and I'm going to stick with the right centre-back first because she is in the same game as this one. It is actually Anna Patten. She's a player that's been in a team of the week already this season. She's no stranger to it, once again, I think she deserves to be in there. I think she actually got the Barclays Player of the Match in this game. So, if it's good enough for the official one, it's obviously going to be good enough for me as well. And to be honest, the numbers back that with her game. I thought she put in a really good performance alongside Lucy Parker as well at centre-back. She did well, but I think Anna Patten just edged it for me. The other centre-back alongside her is Alex Greenwood. As she often does, she really ran the show at home to Spurs on Friday night. She had the most touches in the game. She had the most passes completed in the game. She was just that player that kept Man City ticking throughout, and they obviously had a lot of possession. It was 71% of the match, with a hell of a lot of touches and passes, as I mentioned, and she was definitely a key player within that, and one of those that, without her playing the way she does, the rest of the team can't do what they do. So she was very important for them. At left back, I've gone for Katie McCabe. She obviously was part of Arsenal's backline in that 5-0 win. Getting 2 assists in the process. One of them was a relatively simple pass into Frida Maanum, who struck it from quite far out with a very good shot. So, that wasn't so much to do with Katie McCabe's creativity. But the second goal that she assisted was the cross into Lena Hurtig for her to head home, which, can't be done without a good cross. So I think those, well, not necessarily the Marnham goal, but the assist for the Hurtig goal was part of the reason that I thought she deserved a place in the team this week, but also just that her general all-round play was really good throughout the game. Obviously, Arsenal managed to keep Brighton to no goals. She made 7 defensive actions in this match. There were, on top of that, 6 recoveries. She won 7 out of the 9 duels that she contested. She didn't commit a single foul, and did win one as well at the same time. So defensively, she put in a really good performance, and I've already spoken about 2 assists. They were just part of 6 chances that she created, as well as having 44 passes completed, which is an 88% pass completion. So basically anything that she did to an elite level in this game, and that is why I think she deserves the place at left back and in over Gabby George. So that is the back 4. Moving on to the midfield, I've got a midfield 4. We're going to go through the centre mids first. The first one is a fellow Arsenal player, Frida Marnham. She, as I've already alluded to, scored an absolute worldie in this game. So despite the fact that she was taken off at 56 minutes, I thought she still deserved a spot because she played well while she was on. She had 41 touches, she made 22 passes, she had 3 shots, got a goal and an assist, made a couple of defensive actions, went up for a couple of duels, didn't commit any fouls. General all-round pretty good performance, and obviously with an absolute worldie of a goal, probably the goal of the week to round it off. Yeah, she was one of my centre mids to put in, alongside my second centre mid of Hanoka Hayashi. Now, I've spoken a little bit in other podcasts, not necessarily the team of the week ones, but more the previews and the reviews, about Everton's difficulty to actually score a goal. The only goal they'd scored so far this season was a deflected cross against West Ham, which Camilla Saiz put in. But in this game, they actually got their first goal of the season. It was really necessary because they were 1-0 down at the time, and this ended up being the goal that got them the draw. About 20 minutes from the end, Vitriki Sarri put in a cross, which is, it was a decent cross. It was a cross that they're no stranger to being able to put in. But Hanoka Hayashi scored a really good sort of glancing, directed header to get it in at the far post. That was one of 2 shots she had. She also created a chance. She had 34 completed passes with a completion rate of 89%. 48 touches. She had a couple of passes into the final third. She made 4 defensive actions, 6 recoveries on top of that, and won all 3 of the duels that she had. So an all-round really good performance, especially against a Crystal Palace midfield that was pressing really high, pressing really hard. And, with Gale, Potter and Cato in there, is not easy to sort of counteract. But yeah, I think her and Claire Wheeler especially did a really good job in there. And with her goal, I thought she deserved this place in the team of the week. Now, the wingers. So we've got one on the left, one on the right, obviously. I'm going to start off with the left winger, which was Guro Reiten. Now, by Guro Reiten standards, this probably wasn't her best game. And yet, she was still one of the best players on the team for Chelsea. They obviously ran away 3-0 winners. She created 3 chances in this game and got a goal herself. She had an 87% pass completion, which for an attacking player that is, having to take a lot of risks and things like that, to still have such high pass completion is really impressive. She had, obviously, like I said, a couple of shots, both of them on target. She took 42 touches, 4 inside Liverpool's box. She took the corners, had 5 of them. She made 3 defensive actions, had 3 additional recoveries on top of that, and won the only duel that she was in. Also, not committing any fouls and drawing a foul. So, general all-round good performance. Like I said, it's not the best performance we've ever seen Guro Reiten have. She's not got multiple goals and multiple assists like she has done before, but against a very sort of resolute Liverpool side. She was up against Jenna Clark a lot. She was up against Grace Fisk a lot. I thought she had a really good performance and, yeah, got a goal too. So she is in on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I've got Beth Mead. Arsenal have been struggling a little bit recently. I think it's fair to say. Until this match, Arsenal hadn't won at home in the league this season, but just, 16 minutes in, I think? Might even been less than that. 13 minutes I've just seen. She got her goal cutting in really nicely with, I think, what is a fairly typical Beth Mead goal, curling it in at the far post on her left foot. She made 27 passes in this game, including creating 3 chances. She had 2 shots, one of which went in, both of those shots on target. 57 touches, which in 79 minutes for a winger is a lot. 5 of those touches were inside the Brighton box as well. She made a couple of tackles, she had 9 defensive actions in total, plus 4 recoveries, and won just over half of the 11 duels that she was a part of. So all round, like I said, good performance, like with some of the others, but getting Arsenal going early on, within the first 15 minutes, getting them moving and starting off that kind of, goal fest at the Emirates, and getting a bit more belief into this Arsenal side when they really need it. And finally, the front two, and for both of these, we're having to go to Manchester because there were 2 players that I think were probably my 2 top players of the week. They are another 2 Man City players on top of, we've already got obviously Alex Greenwood in the team. The first forward I'm going to speak about is Lauren Hemp. She is no stranger to some attacking creativity this season. I think she is, in my book, still the player of the season so far. She played 78 minutes, and within that, she got a hat-trick of assists, creating 6 chances to get those 3 assists, 2 for Bunny Shaw and 1 for Jill Ward. She also managed to, with one of her shots, one of her 3 shots, hit the post, crossbar, and then the other post without it going in, so pretty much as close as you can get without scoring. She took 59 touches in the match, 7 of which were in Spurs' box. She made 35 passes with a 95% completion. For a creative player like Lauren Hemp in those attacking areas, that's really high. She completed a dribble, she had no fouls committed, and just generally had a really threatening performance yet again. I think she's going to be competing with Bunny Shaw for the player of the season come the end of the season. It's probably going to be between those 2. They're certainly the front runners. So Lauren Hemp gets the first spot and Bunny Shaw is getting the other one. She's also my player of the week this week, getting a hat-trick in the same amount of time as Lauren Hemp because they both came off at the same time at the 78th minute. Bunny Shaw took 5 shots in this game, 3 of which were on target, and all 3 of those were goals. One of them was obviously early on dispossessing Claire Hunt. I know that looked easy, but I think that there is an element of Bunny Shaw is quite good at it. So she also managed to take advantage of the situation and obviously scored the first goal within 20-something seconds of the match starting. The second goal, she leapt up for a header. Claire Hunt was sort of in with her, but you wouldn't know it if you just watched Bunny Shaw because she's just that mighty in the air and that strong. And then the third goal, being in the right place at the right time at the far post to put in Lauren Hemp's cross. She just did a lot of things right and, has become the first player to score 3 goals against the same team 3 times in the WSL. She's really a player, not just on fire generally with 7 goals in the WSL now. No one else has more than 4, but she's a player that does well against Spurs. As well as the goal scoring, she completed, and this shows, by the way, just what her role is within the team. Completed 5 passes within the 78 minutes. She had 23 touches, 6 within Spurs' box. So she actually had more touches in Spurs' box than she had passes completed. She won a couple of tackles, she made 3 recoveries, and she won all 5 of the duels that she was in, drawing a foul and committing none in the process. So Bunny Shaw, for her hat-trick, if nothing else, as well as a good all-round game, is getting my player of the week. But that is my team of the week. Overall, those are the 11 players. So Fallon Tullis-Joyce in goal, a back 4 of Gabby George on the right, Katie McCabe on the left with Alex Greenwood and Anna Patton in the middle. Midfield 4 of Marnham and Hayashi in the middle with Mead on the right and Wrighton on the left. And then a front 2 of Lauren Hemp and Bunny Shaw. Honourable mention goes out to Myra Ramirez, who was quite close to getting in this side. But I just think that Gura Wrighton was the player that I was sort of umming and ahhing about changing it with, but I think Wrighton just about did enough for me within that game. Jill Ward also had a really good game. She was one that I was considering. So was Alana Kennedy, so was Leah Williamson, so was Leah Valti. So there were a few players that could have got in there, but those are the 11 that I went with. Let me know if you think it's any good. I'll put it out on socials, or I've already put it out on socials, so go and give it a comment or quote tweet it, that kind of thing. If there's anyone else that you think should have been in there, also let me know, because I like to hear your opinions and like to hear, not necessarily where I've gone wrong, but who else you thought deserved a spot, I guess. But yeah, thanks for listening along to Decoding the WSL today. If you did enjoy today's episode, do make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And it does help if you can give a 5-star review, because we're trying to grow the pod and it does help others find the show. You can also stay up to date with us at the podcast at Decoding the WSL on Instagram, as well as on the Reddit page r/Decoding the WSL. You can follow me, Stattorino, or at Stattorino on X, Instagram, and there's some bits on Threads as well. And as I say, do get in touch if you've got anything, any suggestions, any thoughts, any questions, anything like that, because I'm always keen to hear. But yeah, thank you, listener, for joining me. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll speak to you at the next one.